Morning Drive, brought to you by Golf Pride.
A very good morning and welcome into Morning Drive on a Wednesday. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Anna Whiteley with you alongside the team, Damon Hack, Paige McKenzie, Robert Dameron and Lauren Thompson. LT, over to you, my friend. What have you got for us?
All right, let's dive right in. Get you caught up on all of the headlines around the world of golf, starting with this. Check this out. Just 19 days after winning the Merido Samaritan Fund Invitational, Scottie Scheffler, he was back in action, beginning his title defense as the Merido Samaritan Fund Invitational 2.0 kicked off on Tuesday. He is tied for the lead with Ryan Palmer and Brandon Wu after an opening round 67. The event raises money for the club's caddies who have been out of work due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And speaking of raising some cash, the totals are in from the TaylorMade Driving Relief Skins match. And thanks to the generosity of sponsors and you at home, over $5.5 million was raised for organizations leading COVID-19 relief efforts, including the American Nurses Foundation and the CDC Foundation. But also special thanks to the guys you see on your screen, the 4 players who donated their time for the event, and congratulations to Rory McIlroy and Dustin Johnson, of course, on their victory. So let's take a look at the official World Golf Ranking, which has been on hold since March 20th. McIlroy sitting in that top spot still, but looking a little farther down, you've got former world number 1 Dustin Johnson checking in at number 5. So Anna Whiteley, let's turn it back over to you.
Okay, LT, well, I've got a burning question for you guys. With that, it's a little time for buy or sell. So guys, buy or sell, Dustin Johnson will end the 2020 calendar year inside the world's top 5 at Robert Dameron.
Oh boy, I really hope he's watching this because maybe it'll spur him on because we like it when he plays well, but I'm going to sell it. I don't see him finishing inside the top 5 at the end of this calendar year. He's had a lot of good tournaments. They're going to fall away, for one thing, in the 2-year span of the official World Golf Rankings, and he's replacing it with a lot of mediocrity, I'm afraid. Frankly, he hasn't had very much success in a full year since the PGA last year, where he finished second to Brooks Koepka. There's a couple concerning things. One, the putting has really, really been off, but he got to number 1 in the world really through the strength of his wedge play. And in 2017, he was 7th from 50 to 125 yards. 2018, he was 6th. In this season, even though it's a short sample size, he's 227th. So combine that with putting the way he's been putting, and that's just makes for a long season.
Yeah, Robert, generally he's just trending in the wrong direction. And I think that's, leading me to also agree with you and sell. It's a little bit about what Dustin Johnson's been doing and the fact that his trend line is going the wrong way, but it's also about who else is in the top 5. It's a zero-sum game. So when you talk about Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, and Jon Rahm, I don't think they're going anywhere. So that leaves only 2 spots. I think Patrick Cantlay very well could end the season inside the top 5. And then there's just 1 spot. That's including Brooks Koepka, Patrick Reed, Adam Scott, right around that number. I just don't see enough strong golf coming from Dustin Johnson to keep in that 5th spot there, Damon.
Paige, Robert, I'm with you. I'm selling Dustin Johnson, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I tell you what, even though the motivation is there with Brooks Koepka having supplanted DJ in their relationship, the numbers just aren't there. You look at the strokes gained approach, 85th on the PGA Tour in 2020. Strokes gained around the greens, 162nd. Strokes gained putting, 106th. So the motivation is there, but the numbers aren't there. And even though he's won in 12 consecutive seasons, a terrific run, an incredible run on the PGA Tour, we saw it on Sunday at Seminole. The putting isn't there. The most important clubs in his bag are not there to keep him in the top 5.
Damon, you just said it there. I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe you three are saying this. Are we talking about the same former world number one, 20-time PGA Tour winner, major champion here that I'm thinking of, Dustin Johnson? Robert, you touched on it there with his putting. Now, on Morning Drive, we have debated whether putting is the key to success on the PGA Tour, and more often than not, we usually say, no, it's all about off the tee. Driving is one of DJ's biggest strengths. I know you don't think his wedge play is there, but when you take into consideration his mental strength, his physical power, surely there is enough there in the bag so he can pick up another win this year.
There is enough in the bag, yes, but where is it? It's deep down in the bag. It's been hiding, and he's just not been playing the golf he's accustomed to. I said I think he's got all the tools to win as much as he can. I mean, as he needs to, but you can't win any given week without making putts. You know, over a career, you can't get into the Hall of Fame without hitting it great. But you can't win a given week without putting pretty darn well, and he just is not putting well.
Paige, just to come to you, just to kind of rewind the clock on DJ's years over the last 5 years. He hasn't finished outside of the world's top 5 since 2015. He's also been a multiple-time champion across those years. Does his history count for nothing when we look at his current form?
No, it actually counts for everything, because players of his caliber not only have the skill set, but they have the experience they can rely on when they're given those situations, something that an inexperienced professional does not have. So for sure, that gives him an edge over other players. Holding the number one spot for the times that he did, the multiple times that he did, gives him an advantage. I just see so much from the other players inside the top 5. I mentioned it with Jon Rahm, Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, and then I mentioned Patrick Cantlay. I fully expect to be inside that top 5. It just doesn't leave a lot of room. I bet on the field over DJ for that last top 5th spot.
Damon, for so long now, DJ has always been in our conversation of, you know, the top 3 most dominant players in the men's game. If we're talking this could be a slight demise for DJ as he drops through the world's top 10, I mean, how big of a drop are we looking at here, do you think?
Oh, I could still see him in the top 10 at the end of 2020. But Paige has mentioned some strong players whose arrow just seems to be pointing up right now. Patrick Cantlay. I look at Tommy Fleetwood as someone who looks more and more comfortable in these big-time events. You know, streaks come to an end. Byron Nelson's winning streak came to an end. Tiger Woods' cuts made streak came to an end. And it looks as though Dustin Johnson's consecutive seasons with a win streak is going to come to an end.
Robert, my final try. DJ has proved himself to be one of the most prolific winners in the game right now around the world. If he comes out, bursts out of the scenes in those first few weeks, puts a win under the belt, his 13th straight then season winning, would that change your mind about the future of DJ over the next few years?
But your perseverance is admirable. And yes, if he comes out and wins early, which, let's face it, is completely possible. You know, Damon said streaks come to an end. Guess what? Bad streaks come to an end too. And maybe the putts start going in and the wedges start getting close. So yeah, I'm certainly not thinking it's outside of the realm of possibility. I just think the trend line is going the wrong direction, as we said.